We've all felt it. That sudden stabbing pain that takes over a muscle without warning. It grips tight, refuses to let go, and leaves us wincing. Muscle cramps. They're so common we often brush them off. A Charlie horse in the middle of the night. A calf that locks up during a walk. A foot that curls painfully while we stretch. But here's the surprising part. Not all cramps are caused by dehydration or lack of potassium like we often hear. Some reasons are hidden, silent, and strange. In today's video, we're diving into 7 surprising causes of muscle cramps you didn't know. Some may challenge what you thought you knew. Others might explain those mysterious cramps that seem to come out of nowhere. Stay with me till the end, because understanding the why is the first step to preventing the pain. Sleeping positions that restrict blood flow. It's easy to blame muscle cramps on what we eat or how we exercise. But sometimes the cause creeps in while we're completely still, even when we sleep. Yes, your sleeping position could be behind those 3 a.m. leg cramps that yank you from peaceful dreams into a painful reality. Let's take a closer look. Imagine this. You've had a long day. You crawl into bed exhausted. You lie on your side, knees tucked in, arms folded. Fetal position. It feels safe, comforting. But as hours pass, this cozy shape begins to change how blood moves through your body. When your joints are bent tightly for too long, it can compress nerves and reduce circulation, especially to the legs and feet. Blood flow slows, oxygen delivery drops, waste products build up, and then somewhere in the early morning darkness a muscle twitches, spasms, contracts, and won't let go. It's not just about curling up either. Sleeping with your foot pointed down, a position called plantar flexion, shortens the calf muscle for hours on end. This increases the chance of that sudden burning cramp in the lower leg, especially when you stretch upon waking. The worst part? You don't feel it happening. It's not like running a marathon or lifting weights, it's just lying there, still, silent. This type of cramping is especially common in older adults, as circulation naturally decreases with age, pregnant women, due to changes in blood volume and hormone levels, people with desk jobs or sedentary lifestyles, who don't stretch often. Even healthy young people can experience this, especially after long flights, sleeping in unfamiliar beds, or recovering from injury. The good news? Small adjustments can help. Try sleeping with a pillow under your knees if you lie on your back. If you're a side sleeper, place a pillow between your legs to reduce joint compression. Before bed, gently stretch your calves and hamstrings. Keep your feet neutral, not pointed. Using a blanket tucked around your feet can help. Stay hydrated during the day, but don't overload right before bed. These aren't dramatic changes, but over time, they may just prevent that sharp, seizing pain from breaking your sleep. Sometimes what cramps us isn't effort, it's stillness. It's the body asking for movement, for flow, for balance. When the night is quietest and the world is resting, your muscles remember. They whisper back to you, not in words, but in sudden tension. So tonight, as you settle in, ask yourself, is my rest helping or hurting? Hidden medication. Side effects. Sometimes the things we take to help us, to heal, to ease pain, to sleep better, carry silent side effects we never expect. Muscle cramps can be one of them. Yes, that nightly pill for blood. Pressure, that over-the-counter sleep aid. Even your multivitamin, they might be helping in one area, but triggering discomfort in another. Let's take a quiet walk into the world of medications that might be cramping your muscles. Modern medicine is a marvel. It saves lives, eases suffering, and gives us a better quality of life. But every medication, no matter how helpful, interacts with your body's chemistry, and sometimes that interaction quietly disturbs the balance of minerals, nerve signals, or blood flow, leading to those sharp, sudden cramps. One common example? Diuretics, often prescribed for high blood pressure or heart failure. These pills help the body shed excess fluid, but in doing so, they also flush out essential minerals, like potassium, magnesium, and calcium. These 3 minerals play a key role in how your muscles contract and relax. When they drop too low, even slightly, the risk of cramping rises. You might be surprised to learn how many medications can have muscle cramps as a side effect. Here are a few. Statins, used to lower cholesterol. They can sometimes cause muscle pain, tightness, or cramping. Beta blockers, for blood pressure and heart conditions. They may affect circulation and muscle tone. Asthma medications. Some inhalers, like albuterol, may lead to cramps due to shifts in potassium levels. Antipsychotics or antidepressants. These can influence nerve signaling and muscle responses. Iron. Supplements. In high doses, they may reduce magnesium absorption. Sleep aids or antihistamines. Some may interfere with nervous system regulation. Even vitamin imbalances, from supplements taken in excess, can trigger cramps. Too much vitamin D or calcium, for instance, can disrupt the delicate mineral balance in your system. And the most unsettling part? Cramps may be the only sign. No rash, no fever, just a muscle, suddenly clenched in the dark. Start by observing. Did your cramps begin after a new medication? Have they increased with a change in dosage? If so, don't panic, but do talk to your doctor. Never stop medication on your own, but bring up the symptoms. There may be an alternative, a supplement adjustment, or simply a time-based correlation that needs to be understood. You can also ask for a blood test to check mineral levels, especially magnesium and potassium. Review your full medication list with a pharmacist. They often catch interactions that go unnoticed. Stay hydrated, especially if you take diuretics. Stretch regularly, particularly before bed. Consider magnesium-rich foods like almonds, spinach, and bananas to support muscle. Health? Your body is not separate from what you take into it. Every pill, every supplement, every chemical, it all speaks to your muscles, your nerves, your blood. Sometimes the things we rely on to help us are doing exactly that. Other times they're whispering discomfort in the form of a cramp. So, listen closely. Pay attention to the patterns, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Your body is speaking. It just may be doing it in code. Emotional stress and anxiety. When we think of muscle cramps, we often search for a physical reason: dehydration, overuse, poor posture. But sometimes the cause isn't physical at all, it's emotional. Stress, anxiety, emotional tension. These invisible weights don't just sit in our minds, they settle in our bodies, quietly, persistently. Until one day, a muscle seizes without warning. Let's explore how the storms in your mind can ripple into your muscles. Your body doesn't separate emotion from biology. In fact, it reacts to emotional stress as if it were a physical threat. When you're anxious, your nervous system triggers a cascade of changes. Your heart rate increases, your breath becomes shallow. Your muscles, especially in your shoulders, neck, back, and calves, tense up. It's part of the body's fight or flight response, useful in a moment of danger. But when anxiety lingers for hours, days, weeks, that constant muscle tension becomes chronic tightness. And chronic tightness is a perfect breeding ground for cramps. Some people live in a nearly constant state of low-level tension. They don't even realize their jaw is clenched, their shoulders raised, their stomach tight, but their muscles know. And one day, during a workout, while lying in bed, even sitting still, the tension breaks form and becomes a sudden, painful cramp. Prolonged stress also affects your electrolyte balance. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, can influence how your body retains sodium and loses potassium, a key mineral for muscle health. Worse still, stress can impact your hydration levels, as you may drink less water or more caffeine or alcohol. Eating. Habits, leading to skipped meals, fast food, or nutrient-poor diets. Sleep quality, which reduces muscular recovery and repair. All of these are risk factors for cramps, yet none of them have to do with physical exertion. Anyone under chronic emotional stress is vulnerable, but especially office workers under deadlines, caregivers, juggling emotional and physical burdens, students during exam season, parents navigating sleepless nights and constant worries, individuals with anxiety disorders or trauma histories. For these people, muscle cramps may be one of the few visible signs that their stress isn't just mental, it's physical too. You don't need to eliminate stress, That's not realistic. But you can release it, gently, consciously, a little at a time. Here are a few calming practices that can ease both your mind and your muscles. Deep breathing. A few slow, deep breaths can activate your parasympathetic nervous system. The E1 responsible for calm and digestion. Progressive muscle relaxation. Tense and then release each muscle group from toes to head. You'll be amazed at where you hold tension. Gentle yoga or Tai Chi. These help release muscular knots while calming the mind. Walking in nature. Even 10 minutes outside can lower cortisol and boost blood flow. Writing or journaling. Let the thoughts leave your mind and land softly on paper. And perhaps most importantly, talk to someone. A friend, a therapist, a support group. When emotional weight is shared, it becomes lighter. 4. Sudden temperature shifts and cold exposure muscles are like quiet animals. They like warmth. They move better when cozy, stretch more easily when relaxed, and rest more deeply when not startled by sudden change. But when cold arrives, suddenly, harshly or even gently overnight, they can become tight, defensive, and prone to cramping. Yes, that chilly room, that sudden dip in evening temperature, that walk barefoot on cold tile in the middle of the night. All of these small shifts can be enough to provoke an unexpected spasm. Let's explore why your muscles react this, and how you can prevent the cold from catching you off guard. Your muscles thrive in a stable, warm environment. Heat allows them to stay loose and elastic. But cold causes constriction, both in the muscles themselves and in the blood vessels that nourish them. When your body detects cold, blood vessels near the surface narrow to preserve core warmth. Circulation to the limbs decreases, especially in hands, feet, and calves. Muscle fibers tighten in response, trying to conserve energy and generate internal heat. Nerve sensitivity can increase, making you more prone to spasms or sharp sensations. It's a primitive response, your body choosing survival over comfort. But that survival instinct can result in painful muscle cramps, especially when paired with inactivity, poor circulation, or existing muscle tension. Cold-induced cramps often occur in early morning hours when your body temperature is naturally lowest. Unheated rooms or sleeping with the windows open in cool weather, cold water immersion, swimming or bathing in chilly water, air-conditioned offices where circulation slows while sitting still during winter, especially for those who don't dress in layers or cover extremities. Even summer months aren't exempt. A powerful fan aimed at your legs or a cold draft across your back at night can trigger the same reaction. Older adults, who often have reduced circulation and thinner-skinned children, who lose heat faster due to smaller body mass, people with hypothyroidism or Raynaud's disease athletes, especially if they cool down too fast after training, anyone with low body fat or poor thermal regulation. Cold exposure is subtle. You may not even realize you're chilled until the cramp has already arrived, tight, sharp, and unforgiving. Simple steps can make a big difference. Dress in layers, even indoors, especially around the legs and feet. Use warm socks at night, and avoid direct drafts from fans or open windows. Take a warm shower before bed to relax muscles. Stretch gently in the evening, and upon waking use a heating pad on trouble spots like calves or lower back. Stay hydrated. Your body cools faster when dehydrated. For those who suffer nighttime leg cramps, electric blankets, heated mattress pads, or even hot water bottles can offer not just comfort, but real muscle protection. And remember, cold doesn't always feel painful at first. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it creeps in. Your body notices even if you don't. Not all dangers arrive loud. Some tiptoe in on the breeze. When you feel a sudden cramp, like a hand grabbing your calf from the inside, it might not be dehydration or exercise. It might simply be cold saying hello. So tonight, before you sleep, ask, is my body warm? Are my feet covered? Are my muscles relaxed or bracing for cold that hasn't yet come? Because sometimes all a muscle wants is what we all want, to be held gently in warmth. Inadequate sleep and nighttime muscle repair. There's a quiet kind of healing that happens when you sleep, a restoration that no pill, no drink, no supplement can fully replace. While your mind drifts into dreams, your body begins its sacred work. It rebuilds tissues, balances hormones, repairs microscopic tears in your muscles. But what happens when sleep is shallow, broken, or skipped altogether? Your muscles remember, and sometimes they protest, not with a whisper, but with a cramp. Let's take a deeper look into how poor sleep affects muscle health and why rest might be the remedy your cramps are asking for. Each night your body enters a series of sleep stages, including deep sleep, also known as slow-wave sleep. It's during this deep sleep that growth hormone is released, triggering tissue repair, blood flow to muscles increases, bringing oxygen and nutrients, electrolyte levels reset, stabilizing, nerve-muscle communication, inflammation decreases, easing tight or fatigued muscles. In short, your muscles do their best recovery while you sleep, quietly, consistently, without fanfare. But when you're tossing and turning, waking up multiple times, or sleeping only a few hours, that repair process is interrupted. The healing is delayed, the balance is thrown off, and the next day or night you might feel it as tightness, fatigue, or a sudden painful cramp in your calf, your foot, your back. When you don't sleep, well, magnesium stores may be depleted more quickly, and not restored cortisol, stress hormone, rises. Increasing inflammation, muscle fatigue accumulates without repair time. Nerve signals misfire, leading to hyperactive contractions, cramps, and, ironically, the cramps themselves may keep you from sleeping, creating a frustrating cycle. Lack of sleep, muscle strain, cramp, more disrupted sleep, deeper exhaustion. For some, it becomes a nightly battle. For others, a quiet erosion of rest, night after night. Shift workers with irregular sleep schedules, parents of young children, older adults with naturally lighter sleep, people with sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, or insomnia. Those under chronic stress or dealing with grief or anxiety. These individuals may not realize that their sleep debt isn't just stealing energy, it's also robbing their muscles of healing. Sleep is sacred, and it's worth protecting. Here are a few gentle ways to support better rest and reduce nighttime cramps. Create a bedtime ritual. Same time, same rhythm. Every night limit screens and bright lights in the hour before bed. Avoid caffeine and alcohol late in the day. Stretch lightly before lying down. Focus on calves, hamstrings, and feet. Keep the room quiet, dark, and comfortably warm. Consider a magnesium supplement with your doctor's guidance. Try guided meditation or calming music to ease your nervous system. And above all, listen to your body. If it's cramping, often it may be calling out not just for minerals or water, but for true rest. Not just time lying down, but sleep that restores, repairs, and releases. Your body does not heal in the rush. It heals in stillness. It needs time. It needs quiet. It needs sleep that touches the soul as much as the spine. So when the cramp comes again in the middle of the night, sharp, unwelcome, sudden, pause and ask, am I truly resting or just surviving the night? Because sometimes the most overlooked cure for a muscle cramp is simply a full, unbroken night of peace. 6. Certain medications. You didn't expect. Sometimes the source of your muscle cramps isn't what you eat, drink, or do. It's what you take. A little pill prescribed with care. A daily tablet you've taken for months. Even something as common as a blood pressure medication or a diuretic. Many medications, quietly, without fanfare, interfere with the delicate chemistry of your muscles. And unless you know what to look for, you might never connect the dots. So let's explore this silent contributor, medication-induced muscle cramps, and how to recognize them before they speak too loudly through pain. How medications trigger muscle cramps. Your muscles contract and relax based on a precise dance of minerals, water, nerves, and blood flow. When that dance is disrupted by dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, or nerve irritation, cramps can occur. Many medications can disrupt that balance by lowering potassium, magnesium, or calcium levels, changing nerve excitability, reducing hydration through fluid loss, altering blood flow to muscles. The result? Muscles misfire. They clench too hard, too long. And what you feel is a sudden, painful cramp, often at night or after physical activity. Here are some of the most commonly reported culprits. Diuretics, water pills, e.g. furosemide, hydrochlorothiazide. Used. For high blood pressure or fluid retention, they increase urination, which can flush out essential electrolytes. Statins, e.g. atorvastatin, simvastatin, cholesterol-lowering drugs. While helpful for heart health, some users report muscle pain, weakness or cramping as side effects. Beta blockers, e.g. metoprolol, propranolol. Used for blood pressure or anxiety, they can reduce circulation to muscles, especially during exercise. Asthma medications, like albuterol, can lead to low potassium levels, especially if overused. Certain antidepressants or antipsychotics. Some may alter muscle tone or nervous system sensitivity. Laxatives or high-dose supplements. Used too often, they can disturb electrolyte balance dramatically. It's important to note, not everyone experiences these side effects and not all medications are harmful. But if you've recently started a new prescription or changed the dose and began noticing cramps, it's worth paying attention. Older adults whose kidneys and metabolism process drugs more slowly, people on multiple medications, those with kidney or liver issues, which affect drug clearance, people already low in magnesium, or potassium athletes or heavy sweaters, who may already be borderline dehydrated. Medication side effects can be subtle, and muscle cramps are easy to brush off as just a sign of aging. Or I didn't stretch enough, but sometimes it's not your body, it's the chemistry you're feeding it. If you suspect your medications may be contributing to your cramps, don't stop them suddenly. Instead, speak to your doctor or pharmacist. They can assess whether cramps are a known side effect and suggest alternatives or dosage changes. Ask about blood tests to check your electrolyte levels, especially potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Stay well hydrated and consider adding magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens, nuts, and seeds to your diet. Keep a symptom journal. Note when cramps occur, what you ate, what meds you took, and your activity level. Patterns may emerge, and always remember, the goal of medication is to heal, not harm, but even healing tools need adjusting sometimes. Sometimes it's not the pain that's mysterious, it's the source. Your body isn't trying to sabotage you. It's speaking in the only language it knows, sensation. So when a cramp strikes without warning, pause and ask, what have I introduced to my body that my body may not yet agree with? Because the answer may not lie in your muscles at all, but in the medicine meant to help them. Emotional stress and hidden tension. Not all muscle cramps come from the body. Some begin in the mind. You may not feel anxious. You may not even think you're stressed, but your body remembers every burden you carry, every deadline, every grief, every word left unspoken, and slowly, silently, your muscles begin to tighten, not in protest, but in protection. Until one day in the quiet of the night or the stillness after a long day, a cramp arrives, sharp, sudden, and seemingly out of nowhere. Let's take a closer look at this often overlooked cause: emotional stress and unconscious muscle tension. Every emotion leaves a trace. When you're anxious, your body responds as if in danger. Even if the threat is only a thought, muscles tighten, heart rate rises, breathing becomes shallow. Over time, this physical tension builds. But unlike a workout, where tension is released through movement, emotional tension often has no outlet. It settles deep in the body, in the jaw, clenched and locked in the shoulders, rising like armor in the lower back and calves, tightened as if ready to run, in the belly and chest, where fear and sadness are stored. This constant low-level contraction wears down the muscle's ability to relax fully, and when it's time to rest, the muscles can't let go. That's when a cramp can strike, not from overuse or cold, but from weeks or months of silent holding. Cramps that appear after a stressful day, not necessarily a physically active one, tightness in the same areas where you carry emotional stress, neck, back, calves. A cycle of shallow breathing, poor sleep, and muscle stiffness. Cramps that increase during periods of grief, anxiety, or burnout. You feel on edge, even if you can't say why. And here's the key: you don't have to feel stress to be carrying stress. The body keeps score, even when the mind forgets. If your cramps are rooted in emotional tension, treating them with magnesium or water alone may not be enough. You must go deeper, to the nervous system itself. Try these gentle tools. Progressive muscle relaxation, tensing and releasing each part of your body slowly. Slow diaphragmatic breathing, 5 seconds in, 7 seconds out. Gentle yoga or Tai Chi, especially in the evening. Warm baths with Epsom salts to soothe muscles, and mind journaling to release emotional tension you didn't realize you were holding. Therapy or mindfulness. If anxiety or grief feels too heavy, most importantly, pause more often. Sit with a hand over your chest. Ask your body, what are you still holding for me? And listen, muscle cramps are not always physical. Sometimes they are echoes of what we didn't say, echoes of the pressure we quietly endure, echoes of a nervous system that never felt safe enough to truly relax. So the next time a cramp comes out of nowhere, ask, is this a cry for magnesium? Or a cry for softness, for quiet, for peace? Because the deepest healing does not always begin in the muscle. Sometimes it begins in the heart. In the end, a muscle cramp is rarely just about the muscle. It's a whisper, or sometimes a cry, from a deeper place within. Maybe it's a signal that you've pushed too hard, or that you've neglected rest, or that something emotional is asking to be felt. Not fixed. So the next time pain tightens your body, soften your heart. Listen closer. Breathe slower, and instead of just reaching for a cure, offer yourself some care. Because healing isn't always about doing more. Sometimes it begins when you finally let go.